The scene opens with a beautiful, happy and joyous couple named Mara and Aiden. The couple has soft expressions on their face, showing that they are living a happy and contented life with one another. During the flashback, images of their wedding appear of them holding hands, reflecting how happy they are together. The scene shifts to a little girl, to whom Mara and Aiden are handing a box. She is their niece, named Vanya. Vanya looks sad, and opens the box with little to no interest. As the story continues, it is revealed that Vanya has been adopted by Mara and Aiden after the loss of her parents in a strange incident. The scene shifts back to Aiden talking to Vanya, as he hands her the box. We also see Mara standing behind him, smiling at the little girl. They are loving and caring towards Vanya. Even though Vanya is getting so much affection, she seems to miss her parents a lot and often remains upset. The scene shifts to a room where people are stitching. It is Aiden's toy factory, where they make dolls. Some days ago, he made a big doll with curly hair and big blue eyes which is smiling mischievously. The gorgeous doll is called Sabrina. As soon as Sabrina was out in the market, it was tremendously popular with children as they all love it. The stores are crowded with children hysterically buying the doll. Aiden also makes a bigger version of the Sabrina doll for his wife. It is similar to the one he made and placed in stores earlier, but the one he made for his wife is special. Maria loves his surprise as Aiden shows her the doll. In the next scene, we see Vanya at school, surrounded by several children playing. In the playground, Vanya is standing with a few other girls, facing her friend, named Ditto. Ditto is seen to be doing something strange. His eyes are closed, his hands twisted at arm's length, and he shouts, "Charlie, Charlie." It is a game to call souls into the world, and Ditto is trying to chant these words to call his grandmother's soul. All the other kids start to make fun of Ditto, but Vanya gets intrigued. Next, it is seen that Vanya is sitting with Ditto. He tells Vanya about the Charlie, Charlie game. He also mentions to Vanya that to send the souls back to their world, one has to say a prayer at the end. He also tells Vanya about the iOS app from which one can locate the souls. Vanya borrows the Charlie, Charlie game board from Ditto, as she wants to call the soul of her mother. Later at night, we see Vanya sitting on the bed playing the Charlie, Charlie game. With the help of the game, she is trying to find her mother's soul. As the lightning strikes in the background, Vanya feels her mother's soul come into the real world. The iOS app also begins to locate the soul in the real world. Though the app is fake, Vanya believes in it. Instead of seeing her mother, she sees her Aunt Maria and lets out a scream as both get scared. Afterwards, Maria takes Vanya to her room and puts her to bed to sleep. Before putting her to sleep, she brings the doll Sabrina that Aiden gifted her. She gives it to Vanya and sits by her side on the bed. In the middle of the night, when Vanya is sleeping, cuddled up with the doll, we can see Sabrina's eyes moving. It means that some soul did come from the Charlie, Charlie game and settled in Sabrina's doll. The next day, we see the Sabrina doll switching places in the house on her own. One time she is seen sitting in Vanya's room, next on the kitchen counter, and later on, she's in the chair in the kitchen. As Maria sees Sabrina switching places, she gets a little scared. The next night, when Vanya again uses the iOS app, she does see a soul, but actually it is a dummy. After a while, the lightning strikes again, and someone pulls Vanya inside the cupboard. The next morning, Vanya explains the previous night's incident to her aunt. She tells her aunt that she felt her mother's soul. Hearing Vanya's story, her aunt politely explains to her that her mother is no longer in this world. The next day, as Mara walks towards the living area, she feels someone's presence. She sees someone standing on the terrace. As she calls the person, it turns out that it is Vanya's sister named Andini. When Mara calls her sister, she transforms into a demon. The demon looks awful and scary and attacks Mara. Luckily, Mara manages to escape the attacks. She runs as fast as possible, but she is extremely frightened. Hearing Mara scream, Aiden comes as well. The demon attacks both of them and stops them from escaping. However, they both manage to run away from it and hide somewhere, panting and sweating with fear. Now they both are sure that there is a demon in their house. To get rid of the demon, both of them go to meet Miss Laras and her husband, who are paranormal experts. Immediately, Laras and her husband go to their house with them. There, with the help of the Charlie, Charlie game, she tries to send the soul of Andini back to her world. As Laras is trying to send the soul back, the Charlie, Charlie board sets on fire on its own. Seeing the fire, all of them are surprised and try to douse it with water, but nothing happens. Also, the power goes out and the entire house is in a blackout. The demon enters Vanya's body, and she attempts an attack on Miss Laras with a sharp knife. Miss Laras starts to bleed immensely. However, Miss Laras escapes the attack and says a quick prayer to free Vanya of the demon's influence. As Miss Laras says the prayer, the demon leaves Vanya's body. However, now the demon is free to attack anyone. Aiden and Mara take Vanya away. After letting the demon loose, there is a huge fight in the house between Laras and the demon. Miss Laras manages to lock the demon inside the house. As they come out of the house, unknowingly, they make a mistake. They bring the Sabrina doll along with them. Little do they know that the demon has also come out with them inside the doll. Later, Laras tells everyone that she recognizes the demon and her name is Baghaya. She also explains that the demon is not a normal spirit, but the child of the demon is a powerful one. It is also revealed the loss of Vanya's parents was due to this demon. Laras explains that Vanya's mom, Andini, was under the control of this demon. Also, she was the one who murdered Vanya's father while under the control of the demon. It is revealed that previously, Laras and her husband managed to send Baghaya back to her world. However, during that fight, Andini passed away. Now, with the help of the Charlie game, Vanya has called Andina's soul, so Baghaya's spirit has also come back into their world again. Laras also explains that the only way to end Baghaya is to dispatch her in her true form. Also, to terminate Baghaya, one needs the inherited sword. The sword was intentionally made to slay Baghaya, and it is currently with Reynard. Reynard found this sword many years back in a cave, as it was intentionally hidden from the demon. The next day, Baghaya arises again, and this time she takes Mera under her control. Mera attacks all the people multiple times with a dagger. All of them manage to get Mera to her house. Here, Laras ties Mera and holds her tightly, and does an exorcism on her, holding the beads on her head. Here, we come to know that previously, someone in their world called Baghaya. Here, the story takes a turn. The scene shifts to two men sitting near a lake 13 years ago. It turns out that the two men sitting there are Aiden's father and his brother, Arka. Arka is Aiden's older brother. Their father owned a toy company, even though both of them designed toys. Their father always liked the toys that Arka designed, which made Aiden feel jealous. He was always more inclined and appreciative of Arka's ideas and designs, as compared to Aiden. Over time, Aiden developed a dislike for his brother. Later, we see their father's funeral. When their father lost his life, he left a will. Arka reads the will, which states that 60% of his business and property will go to Arka and 40% to Aiden. This becomes quite upsetting and disturbing for Aiden. Aiden gets upset and angry because of his father's decision, and upon his anguish, he goes to a magician. He wanted to get his older brother slain by the power of black magic, because he wanted the entire property. It turns out that the magician called the Baghaya demon into our world. However, this demon needed a human body to survive, so Baghaya first tried to reside in the body of Arka. She tried to bring Arka's body under control, but she was unable to do that in any way. So, she took control of Arka's wife Andini and resided in her body, taking control over her. It turns out that Arka and Andini are Vanya's parents. So, when Laras came across Andini and fought Baghaya's spirit back then, both Andini and Arka lost their lives. Hence, the responsibility for Vanya's parents' demise lies on Aiden's shoulders. Coming back to the present time, since Baghaya needs a human body and Aiden's body is strong, the demon takes possession of it. As Aiden's body gets possessed, he attacks everyone around him. Reynard takes Baghaya's spirit out of Aiden's body. As Reynard releases Aiden, Baghaya's spirit comes out in front of them, in her real form. While Reynard fights with the demon, Laras outsmarts the demon by taking out the inherited sword, and with full strength, she thrusts it into Baghaya's spirit, ending the spirit for good. All the members are standing stunned, facing one another in the blood and gore that surrounds the messy room. That is when the police enter to arrest Aiden. After Aiden gets arrested, Mera is seen sitting on the staircase with teary eyes, holding Vanya's hand. Both of them settle for one another, and they are shown to be living happily with each other. Mera expresses all her love and attention for Vanya. The scene then shifts to Laras and Reynard's house, where both of them are sitting on the sofa when they get a call. Laras answers the phone, and she learns about another paranormal activity linked with the same Sabrina doll. Both of them listen to it with concern, and the movie ends as Laras puts the phone down with a firm expression.